Hello everyone, welcome to the competition winner announcement. So, thank you very much for participating if you did. If you didn't, no worries, it's just a bit of funny at the end of the day, and, there's some pretty cool prizes up for this, so why not? But yeah, ultimately, if you weren't sure of any of the answers, I'll explain why the answers are what they are. But yeah, let's get straight to it, shall we? So, for question 1, I actually made a bit of a boo-boo. There are 2 forwards that have that fulfill the requirement of this text. So the question was, what is the only forward that has an ability that is triggered by moving from one zone to another and that deals damage to another forward without ever having been on the field? So the card I was looking for was Nero from Opus 9, I believe it is. So when he's put from your break zone into your hand, you deal something at 2,000 damage. But there is another card, which I completely forgot about, which is funny given how popular the card is, and that card is Vraska's Final Aeon, BFA. So you can discard him from hand to deal 10,000 damage to one forward if you control 2 summoner forwards. He's got a couple of... you need a couple of summoner forwards on the field, so I guess you could argue there has to be some sort of prerequisite, but ultimately it is still a forward moving from one zone to another, which means that it would deal damage. So yeah, I will also include that as a winning answer as well, so... my bad, sorry. But yeah, ultimately, Nero or Vraska's Final Aeon. Now, for question 2, if a card uses the term select and choose in the same line of text, when must you make your choice and selection? A, both at trigger, B, both at resolution, or C, choice on trigger and selection on resolution? The answer is C. So, choice on trigger and selection on resolution. Now, the way that tends to work is that, selection happens when it resolves, choice happens at the point of you casting. Now there are some cards where people will look at this and be, why is this way then? For example, Glaciolabilus. It says select one of the 3 or 4 options, however many there are, but within those options it says choose one forward, choose one dull forward, something like that. And because there is a choice to be made within that text underneath select, it means that it all happens at the point of casting. So you do choose a dull forward to deal at 7,000 damage, or something along those lines, and that is why that is. Select is really only there as a form of protection. Because select tends to only happen at resolution, it also means that if there is something at the point of casting which also states select, it kind of gets this sort of invulnerability, which means that it's just a bit harder to interact with for your opponent. But yeah, C is the correct answer. And then finally, question 3. And I don't think anyone got I don't think anyone got this particular question wrong. So your opponent decides to end their turn. They have 6 cards in hand and controls Opus 14 Lakshmi. While you control Scaletoad, what order does its trigger abilities resolve in, and how many cards does your opponent have at the end of the turn? So, Lakshmi, Scaletoad will make them discard a card, Lakshmi will get them to another card, which will then put them at 6 cards, at which point the end of turn resolution will happen, and they will then have to discard down for the end of the turn. Now, even though you are going through the end of turn process, discarding down is one of the final things to happen, so it means even if you gain a card at the end of the turn, you still have to discard down if you are over 5 cards. Now, the reason that it goes Lakshmi and Scaletoad is that it's always if 2 things happen simultaneously, it is always the turn player whose ability will stack first. So as it's the opponent's turn, Lakshmi will stack, then your Scaletoad will stack, and then it obviously resolves in reverse. Anyway, let's get to the fun part. Let's see who won. So, well done if you did win. Well done for getting any of the answers right. And if you didn't, it doesn't matter, because one of the reasons we're here is to learn about the game, and there's still so much to learn about this game. I'm constantly making assumptions and getting things wrong, so don't worry about it if you're new to the game, because it can be a bit mind-melting. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. Right, you'll notice all the colours align with the elements in the FFTCG. Anyway, let's do this. Alright, I like how it turns a nice shade of purpley blue. What's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Ooh, lots of answers here. See there, multiple answers, multiple names. Nate Highwind, congratulations! You have won 3 packs of Opus 14 cards. So feel free to contact me on any form of social media. So you can obviously Facebook or Twitter are probably the best. I do also have a Reddit account as well. So I every week whenever I post a card combo show, I also post on there as well. So just go through the FFTCG page and you'll be able to find one of my posts on there, so you can message me through that. But yeah, we'll talk and get these shipped out to you. Anyway, thank you ever so much for participating, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I like doing these sorts of things. But what's also good about these is, regardless of whether or not they are, you know, there are prizes, doing these sorts of quizzes really helps solidify the rule sets within your mind, especially when you get certain examples and ones that are more familiar to yourself as well. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.